Hi, my name's Rick. I have type 2 diabetes. I'm not a physician, a medical doctor or nurse. I'm just a person that's been struggling with this since my late 30s. So I was lucky in the sense that I'm 59 now. I'm lucky in the sense that I was athletic as a young guy, played college sports, and just was active in a big way. Did a lot of stuff in my right up into my mid 30s, and I never had a problem with my blood sugar. At some point, I went to graduate school, and that's when I gained a lot of weight, and that's when the problem started. And I just was super unhealthy, and the first indication that I had type 2 diabetes was that I got thrush, which is like this really nasty fungal infection that you get in your mouth when you have type 2 diabetes. Well, it's something you can get when you have type 2 diabetes. And I went to a physician, and my blood sugar, I'll never forget it, was 800. And the guy was like, the person at the clinic was like, "Oh my God, your blood sugar's through the roof." So anyway, I didn't take it too seriously back then, and that's a big problem. So fortunately, I have somebody in my life who has type 1 diabetes, and they just kept hounding me and saying, "Dude, you have to take the diabetes seriously." And it seems to me like diabetes is progressive in terms of it's more difficult to fight off the effects of type 2 diabetes as you age. And the length of time that you've had the diabetes also seems to have some sort of effect. And like I said, I'm not a not a physician or anything like that, but this is just what I've noticed from my own personal experience. And I just want everybody out there to know that there was a point where in my 40s where I was running triathlons and stuff like that, no problems with my no problems with type 2 diabetes at all. Just no medication, no nothing. And so I was able to basically reverse it just with by losing weight and being super active. And that's the key. You have to become very, very physically active, and you have to train at a pretty high level to stave off the effects of type 2 diabetes. And the weirdest thing is that, like after I work out, like I had a blood sugar of 75 when I woke up this morning, and then I did a little, I walked for about 1.7 miles, and when I got back home, my blood sugar was up to 122. So your body makes all these weird adjustments because it's adjusting to cortisol and the stress that you're putting on it and all this stuff. And it'll it can kick your blood sugar up. Now, in the 20 years that I've had this crap, I've not had a low blood sugar event. And I think that if you have one, if you end up having a low blood sugar event, that's like a really bad sign. I think you kind of turned a corner that's hard to get back from. But if anything that I want you guys to walk away with from this was what I want you to do is take this seriously, because if you don't take this seriously, you're going to end up like my friend Joe, who also had type 2 diabetes. And the last part of his life was pretty miserable. They were just sawing, toes and feet. And, they finally told him, they said, "Look, we're going to have to take your leg." He said, "Nah, I'd rather just die." And that's exactly what happened. He died a pretty miserable death in the hospital, hallucinating, and it was pretty horrific. So I'm going to help you guys because I've actually completely stabilized my type 2 diabetes before, and I'm on track to doing it now. And I will just do diet and exercise, mostly exercise in my case, in losing weight. I'll stabilize my type 2 diabetes and bring it under control, and then eventually I can just completely go off the insulin, and I'll probably continue to take metformin because it's us diabetics have a problem with a chemical called ATP. That type 2 diabetes just screws up that process of transferring the energy sufficiently, and that's done with adenosine triphosphate. So I'm going to show you guys. You can see this. I wear a Whoop, and I wear a regular watch, and so I hate the iWatches. They're ugly, and the notifications and stuff like that to me is very annoying. And I know you can turn them off and all that stuff, but anyway, so I had an iWatch forever, and I wasn't happy with my experience with it, and so I stopped using it. And plus, I was getting scary notifications like you're gonna drop dead any minute because your heart is not. And Michael Burry just said that 64% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So right now is a very stressful time, and stress has a big effect on blood sugar, by the way. It'll make your blood sugar go up and just screw you up generally. And so it's very important to be committed to the path of getting your health together and getting your diabetes under control if it's not. So I just went through a period where it was not under control. I was getting numbers in the mid 200s to even sometimes over 300, and my doctor became very concerned, and I became very concerned. And what it really was that I just wasn't active enough. As soon as I got active again, started working out and stuff like that, it just went away. Not entirely yet, because I'm only 10 days in, but I've done this before, and I know that you can that those of us who have this disease, most of us anyway, can control it just through diet and exercise. And it's very important to get on that page. So the way I think the best way to approach it is to go ahead and treat it like you're a serious athlete in your training. But in this instance, what you're doing is you're training to keep from dying from the effects of type 2 diabetes, because type 2 diabetes or just diabetes in general just works on your internal organs, tearing them to pieces, and you don't want to be in that space. So I'm 59. I weighed myself this morning. I was 302. So I need to lose 100 pounds and stay consistent with the exercise and be vigilant about my health. So I'm going to post this on YouTube, and hopefully some of you will start following me, and we'll do this journey together. And hopefully I stay consistent, because that's the hard thing, is to stay consistent and do what you're supposed to do. So I don't know if I want to recommend Whoop. It's okay. There's a lot of good things about it, but we'll talk more about that later. But right now, today, just your goal for today is to go out and walk a distance that you can do. So, if that's a quarter mile, that's great. You just start with that every day, and then we'll just build on that. That's it.